In the 1970s, a band of rogue gardeners flouted the law to beautify vacant lots in New York City. Join me today as I discuss how to use some of the concepts behind guerrilla gardening in your community and at home. It was 1973 when Liz Christie founded the Green Guerillas. She had noticed in her walks through New York City that plants are quite resilient and can pop up in places you don't even expect, even the cracks of sidewalks. So she developed that idea into a concept where they would identify neglected, barren, vacant lots and beautify them through the use of guerrilla gardening, taking little balls of seed and clay and compost that came to be known as seed bombs, and they would bomb the whole vacant lot, and plants would emerge. And so what used to be barren and neglected was now green landscape. It wasn't long before guerrilla gardening got a lot of attention. There were articles in newspapers and interviews on the evening news because in many places it was illegal for anyone to grow plants on someone else's land. And so this concept of these rogue gardeners actually began to spread throughout the world, and other countries began to have their own gardening guerrillas. In the UK, it was Richard Reynolds that developed the concept and actually wrote some books about it. Since then, the concept has stayed valid to take an unused, neglected area and grow plants in it. But what we typically see today is that type of gardening done in a community garden or in an organized effort with the approval of the landowner. Recently, my sister-in-law, Connie, got together with a group from her church to do guerrilla gardening. They partnered with a local landowner that had a field. There were some native grasses growing in the field, but they wanted to add some wildflowers and other plants. So this group from Connie's church made seed bombs, lots and lots of seed bombs. And the concept is simple, just some clay, some compost, and some seeds formed into a little ball and then spread wherever you want the plants to grow. You can take individual seeds and then form a ball around it, or you can take a whole bunch of seeds and blend it in with your bomb mix as you make your balls. And this is the kind of activity that anybody can do. It's a lot of fun to just form a bunch of the balls. They work best when they're dried in the sun. They tend to hold together better as you drop them and throw them. But that's not necessary. You can apply the seed bombs when they're still fresh and relatively moist. Now today, you'll actually find websites that will tell you how to do this. The Green Guerillas have a website. Richard Reynolds has a website, and I'll link to that below. You can buy mixes to make your seed bombs, which is what Connie and the church did, or you can make them with your own ingredients. And at the end of this video, I'll link to my video that shows how I make seed bombs using just materials that are cheap and easy to find. With the seed bombs made, now it's time for the gardener guerrillas to blanket the field with all of those seeds. And you can throw, you can place. There's a lot of randomness, especially when you get a group with a lot of balls and a lot of seeds. You have to wait until the next year to see what the results are, but often those results are amazing. And that's what happened in New York in the 1970s, and why we're still doing guerrilla gardening today. And you can think of guerrilla gardening as being a bit historical too. Johnny Appleseed, hundreds of years ago, was a guerrilla gardener, roaming through the wilderness of America, spreading apple seeds and growing apple trees where none grew before. I'm going to do a little guerrilla gardening in my own backyard. I have this space that doesn't really have any flowers, no development yet. So I'm going to take this space and use some of those ideas of seed bombs and guerrilla gardening and create a nice, lush pollinator garden. I placed some of the seed bombs that I made in random areas, as I showed in that other video. And then I enlisted the help of my granddaughters, and we turned it into a bit of a game. They loved coming out to the garden and helping out, but this was an opportunity for them to put some seeds in. Last year, they helped seed this area. We just spread wildflowers, and a lot of these plants popped up. But this time, we wanted to be a little more precise with our targeting. And so we made it like a reverse Easter egg hunt. Instead of going out and trying to find the eggs that are hidden under the bushes, instead we took our little bombs, like an Easter egg, and we placed them on the ground. And the granddaughters loved it. They were running all over, placing the seeds everywhere they thought they would like to see plants grow. So what did you think about the seed balls?
It was really fun.
What are you hoping happens now?
They grow into flowers. And they're nice and tall.
Did you like that? Was it fun?
Yeah.
What did you like about it?
When we hide them.
What do you hope happens now?
They do flowers and they'd be pretty and tall.
You can see that guerrilla gardening can be fun for a group in a field or with your own family in a backyard. There's really no limitation on whether you do it yourself, with a few others, or with a whole crowd as you make a whole bunch of seed balls. Now, you can be a guerrilla gardener at any time of year, but for spreading wildflower seeds, I think autumn is the ideal time. A lot of the other gardening activities really don't exist anymore, and you're looking for something to do, well, make seed bombs and spread them in your landscape. Many of those wildflower seeds need to be exposed to cold winter weather to even germinate in the spring. So I've got a lot spread in this area. I honestly don't know where all the seed bombs are placed. I know that I put a few right here, but the rest, well, I'm going to have to wait until spring and see what germinates and begins growing. And that's half the fun of it, is that excitement when you see something start to grow in an area that you put a seed bomb. If this is something that you think you might be interested in, go ahead and check out the video I'll link to here in just a little bit, and check out some of those links below, because you might be able to find a group in your own community and do some guerrilla gardening of your very own. Have that excitement and beautify an area where some of that beauty didn't exist before. I'm Gardener Scott. Enjoy gardening.